All right. Um. All right. We seem to be live again. Sweet. Sorry about
We we
that.
gotta we gotta just jump right back into it. I guess the
Yeah.
computer crashed.
Yeah, it did. Mine crashed on my end. Let's see. Auto saves January 16th. It saved about. I sprinted down the hall in darkness. My candle blew out almost instantly, but I didn't have time to care. I ripped the wax off the pricket to expose the sharp point. It wasn't much, but this would have to serve as my sword for now. I rushed headlong towards the terrible sound, clutching the candle pricket with both hands as if I were wielding a mighty claymore. A face rushed out of the darkness.
Hedwig, run!
It all happened too quickly for me to register that it had been correct. Flora blew past me, nearly knocking me over. I did not have time to ask what was happening. I could hear the terrifying stomp of those boots echoing throughout the halls. We sprinted through the
Also, I
black
hate to
hall.
interrupt, but
Mm-hmm.
this song sounds exactly like that one song from Celeste in the Mirror Temple. I don't know what it is.
Danger none.
Is it because the nuns are in danger, or because a
I
nun is danger, or
probably
because
both.
there's no danger?
The Mighty Nine. We sprinted through the black hallway in the dim light ahead of us and turned towards the giant rattling door. Flora bolted straight at it, past the hallway that could take us back towards the dorms. Where are we going?
Away from here!
I was about to break left towards the dormitories, but then I knew exactly why Flora had avoided that path. I caught a glimpse of evil eyes and felt the dull thud of metal boots against the floor close by. Flora's pursuer had navigated to cut us off. I screamed and sprinted as fast as I could after Flora. We made it to the door. I didn't even want to think about how close our pursuer was. Where were you? What's happening?
Let me open this! Now!
She was pushing against the imposing door with all her might, but it wouldn't budge. She threw meager weight against the edge of it to try and help, but it was so heavy I felt like I might have been pushing against a stone wall. The wind was pressing it shut. The two small women whose shoes were slipping over the flagstone floor weren't doing much to combat it. My fingers were in danger of being caught in the jam every time the door buckled, but I kept pushing. I turned my head and caught a glimpse of the monster bearing down on us. It was as tall and terrible as I remembered, but this time it was enveloped in a cloud of smoke. Embers cracked down its soulless eyes. There was no oiled sword this time. This monster brought the very fires of hell with it. Eustace, this isn't funny. Even though I knew it couldn't be her, I pleaded, just in case. I still had a dim hope that this was just another prank, that Eustace had been telling the truth after all. But the creature was unmoved. The giant oaken door finally swung open just enough for me to slip through. I turned to try to yank Flora out with me, grabbing a handful of whatever cloth I could find as made it outside, but the door caught her foot as I pulled her through.
Help!
I held onto her free hand with both of mine. She yelped, and I could tell that the monster was on the other side of the threshold, had grabbed onto her.
Don't let go!
I won't! I won't! Her face contorted and twisted as the door squeezed her ankle. At the very least, it was doing enough to keep the demon from pulling her away from me. Had it not been for that massive slab of wood, I doubt I would have been able to help at all.
Hedwig!
The wind let up for a moment, and the sudden lack of force set us both off balance, and the weight of the door lifted. We fell down. The door swung open just far enough for me to see that our attacker had let go of Flora as well. She was scrambling towards me on all fours, but the beast lurched forward to snatch her again. I held my hands out to hold on the poor girl's arms. Her fingers gripped my frock, and I held her wrists as tightly as I could, but I knew I could not combat this monster alone. The wind suddenly picked up again, and just as both of us had got a hold of Flora, the door slammed shut again with a sickening crunch. I had managed to pull Flora clear of the beast's lunge, but I hadn't been fast enough to keep her leg from being crushed by the door. She wailed as I attempted to pull her free. I couldn't manage it, and I was terrified that the door would pull her broken leg right off if I yanked any harder.
Oh, Paul,
I can't! Is it still holding on to you?
I don't know. I can't feel anything.
She was sobbing and screaming. I planted my feet against the wall and pulled her towards me. By some miracle, the wind let up just enough for the door to loosen its grip on Flora's leg. We tumbled backward into a heap. My head hit the floor with a crack, and for a moment my vision faded. My eyes slowly regained focus, and I looked up at the threshold. The twisted creature was looming over us. I closed my eyes once more and braced myself for the end, and hoped, despite everything, that I would see heaven. But death never came. When I opened my eyes, the monster was gone. The door swung shut, slower this time. The wind was still blowing, but it had died down just a little. Flora wasn't moving. I shook her gently in an attempt to arouse her. There, I think it's gone. She did not answer. I held onto her tight and stared up to the night sky. What a mess I had made of everything. Raindrops pelted my face. I knew I had to move, but I was wholly leaden. The events of the past few weeks and their brutal dismantling of my steady faith were weighing down on me. I scarcely recognized myself, and I actively tried to reject the situation I found myself in. The pain in the back of my head was getting unbearable. I squeezed my eyes shut. Am I dreaming? I remember thinking. This is not real. Those cards even told me. No. I could not consider pagan frivolities. I was a faithful anchoress. I was simply having a long, horrible nightmare. Another vision. When you open your eyes again, I told myself, you will be home. You'll be back in your cell, dry and warm, your oath intact, and maybe you'll be able to try it all over again. I had no such luck. Misericorde. Volume 1. End.
Neat.
A huge thank you to everyone and anyone who made a stock image recording or tool that was used in the production. You made this solo project possible.
Well, I only saw like 2 names in the credits. So.
Yeah. England, 1483.
No, no one told me it was New Year's.
It is growing rather late, isn't it? I apologize, but I think I will leave my story there for tonight. I did not cover everything close to what I could consider a full story, but that is a rather exciting place to leave things, is it not? Even if you know what happens, there's still a sense of, oh, I don't know. I felt something recalling those misadventures, even though I had lived them. Do you know how things turned out? No, don't tell me who you are. I am getting some enjoyment out of imagining telling the story to an impartial audience. Please don't be frustrated with me for stopping here, with my investigation just barely started. I promise you that of all these details are important. I may not have realized it at the time. In fact, I only just noticed the importance of some things after speaking them out loud to you. So really, I must thank you. May I confide something into you? This is the first time I feel like I understand the job of a chronicler. Or rather, I finally have something worth chronicling. And someone to tell those chronicles to. It's a shame that it took so long for me to feel inspired, and that these are such awful events. But I suppose that the worst events are the ones that need to be or need the best records. Would you agree? In that spirit, I can offer you some of my notes. I believe I have some from the appropriate time I can share with you. Here. They aren't much, but you can peruse them for a while as I prepare for our next meeting. Anyway, I must rest. We can continue this soon. Thank you for listening to me prattle on and on. I'll be ready to share more before you know it. I wonder what she gave us. Ooh, chapter select. How helpful.
Wow.
That makes going through the game a lot easier.
Makes sense.
Gallery.
Well, you heard her. She's tired. Time for another month-long hiatus.
Gallery. Cool, cool. Characters. Hedwig, former anchoress, current spy. Matthew. Oh, so that's what she looks like. Cool. Matthew
Yeah, we're finally getting a
2652.
good picture of her.
Catherine with a C, chronicler. A friendship that was cut before it could fully bloom. I've never seen her face, and I miss her dearly. I've heard so much about her good works, but I have so many questions about what seems to be her flaws. I feel ghastly picking over the remains of her relationships, but I suppose it must be done. Do you want to take it?
Do you particularly care?
Uh, no, I
Or do
do
you just
not.
want us to do them all in their business?
I was thinking that we could do every other one or something like that.
Fair enough.
If you want to, or I can
This,
read them all.
yeah. How about we do everyone that you voice?
All right.
Yeah. We don't need to do the voices. I
Yeah, I
must
think this
remain
is
polite as I write this. Yeah, this is pretty obviously Hedwig, I think.
yeah.
I must remain polite as I write this. I respect the work that goes into running an abbey greatly. I understand her desire to find justice in a terrible situation. I just... Catherine is boorish and vain, but worst of all, she is incredibly clever. She is clearly impulsive, as evidenced by facts I am too pure to write. I'm unsure how sincere her eulogy for Catherine was. She makes it sound like they had a very competitive friendship. There are often rumors about her life before the Abbey that give me pause.
Quiet, calm, and very talented. At first, I was at a loss of how she and Catherine with a K, could be such close friends, but they both have a wicked sense of
Or
humor.
Catherine the Catherine with a K.
They're too clever by half. Margaret knows all the passageways around the abbey. She also showed me a terrible etching deep within the walls. She and Catherine with a C seem to have been very close.
I am not sure what to make of my colleague. Her flat effect makes it difficult to understand what she really thinks. We do not share the same sense of humor, and she can be cruel. But so can I am discovering. And Eustace is very forgiving. He knows something I do not. I am worried what that might be.
Limbero's own little Hildegard. She cooks, she brews, she cares for all the plants and animals. I must admit, I didn't expect any of that from her when we first met. Her manner of speaking is even flatter than Eustace's. Perhaps that is why they get along. Darcy is also by far the most honest about her complex relationship with Catherine with a C. I really hope it wasn't her.
Oh Lord, please grant me the strength to turn the other cheek. I do not like or trust this woman. She is from a convent in Italy. I wish she would go back there. I take a small amount of comfort knowing I'm not the only one who cannot stand her. Catherine, the Catherine with a K, in particular seemed to despise her. I don't think she killed Catherine, the Catherine with a C, but I know precious little about their relationship. I have to imagine it was as combative as ours. Moira is very kind and strong. Catherine's death moved her deeply. I'm impressed by her knowledge and the amount of work she is responsible for around the Abbey. She doesn't like the villagers much. She was the most recent oblate before I was made to leave my cell. I thought that was Flora.
No,
Weird.
it was
I guess I
Adela.
must just be.
Adela joined, I think, a year or two ago. Flora's the youngest, but she is not the most recent.
Yeah. She was the most recent oblate before I was made to leave my cell. I believe she said she was from Spain, but her mother's Italian. She hasn't said much about Catherine to me yet. She's much more interested in battle strategy. Sus. Flora, I'm not really sure what she does, is her title. Flora is frustrating. Later today, I am to begin teaching her how to draw. That's clearly not current. I'm not sure I can. I've never taught anyone anything so directly. I'm more adept at offering spiritual advice. She doesn't seem to take her faith seriously, which concerns me.
Well, she's not going to write in her diary while she's getting attacked in the rain with her friend with a broken leg. I don't think this is updated. I think this is diary notes of like what she's taking notes about the people she's seeing, and that would make sense to be the most recent entry, because this was their most recent interaction before the wake, and then after the wake she left and they were searching for her. So I guess that kind of makes sense a bit. The eldest member of the congregation, but not the superior. I wonder why that is. I suppose she could be a latecomer to Limbarrow. Her and Charity both seem to be moved around a lot. At first I thought she was kind and wise, but the more I hear from her, the more uneasy I am around her. She is wise, but she is cold. Some of her behavior reminds me of the most vindictive thoughts, which embarrasses and humbles me.
Charity is gregarious and kind. She discovered Catherine's body, and I can scarcely bring myself to ask her about all that whenever I see her big soft smile. She seems to have seen a lot in her life, and she served at several abbeys. I wonder why she settled here. I also wonder how she puts up with Marta's cynical exterior. We haven't spoken much, save for her reassurance about Angela.
James, the stable boy, and the suspect. He is rather pathetic. I do find it hard to believe he killed anyone. His family seemed willing to believe it, however. I'm not sure what to make of that. I feel compelled to protect him. Bishop of Carlisle, Richard. This man made me an anchoress. I cannot look at him without wondering how disappointed he must be. He must be in me for allowing myself to be dragged out of my cell. Interesting.
Can you go back to Hedwig?
Yep.
Have you ever looked up this Bible verse before?
I believe the people that I watched play through the game looked it up, but I do not remember it off the top of my head.
I looked it up as soon as I saw it
All
initially.
right.
Uh, it appears to be from the Garden of Gethsemane, right before Jesus was arrested, but I
Oh,
don't know
interesting.
exactly. It's a rather short verse. It says, "Put your sword back in its place," Jesus said to him, "for all who draw the sword will die by the sword."
Interesting. He who lives by the sword dies by the sword. Interesting. Former
Mm-hmm.
anchoress, current spy,
It certainly
chronicler,
describes Catherine,
Aberrus,
the Catherine with the C. Dabbler. I
Cat,
occasionally dabble.
almoner, sacristan, alcovisionist, prior, infirmarer, oblate. I'm not really sure what she does. Cellar keeper, almoner. So she and Margaret are both almoners. Do you know what an almoner is? Is that just like a person who hangs out?
I do not know offhand.
Fair enough.
I mean, an almanac is like maps and stuff.
Yeah,
So
I was wondering why that was the only position
yep.
that had two.
Yeah. Even simpler, an official distributor of alms.
Oh, okay. Sure, that works. Adela doesn't seem to
You know
really.
another word for alms?
No,
Charity.
that's pretty cute,
I
actually.
looked it up, and the first AI definition is an almoner is historically an officer who distributes alms (parentheses charity) for an institution, monarch, or church, often a chaplain.
And here we have a bunch of songs from the thing.
Boots.
Oh
They're the
boy.
boots on the ground for charitable giving.
Yeah, there's a lot of good songs in this. I've been meaning. I'm glad they give you this because I've been meaning to listen to it. And last but not least, the gallery.
We already looked at this one.
Yeah, it's just
I
all
remember
the
those big ol' eyes.
stuff. Oh, they're so cute. I love them all. Flora, Darcy's the best. Look at her little gremlin face.
I love all of them except for the one that's a murderer.
So some of these new.
No, that's Eustace.
Yeah,
That's also Eustace,
I remember this
supposedly.
one as Eustace. I don't remember this one as Eustace.
Well, you
Let
can
me
see the
see.
goat in the picture.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That one might be Eustace, but I'm not convinced.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Don't look at me with them big old eyes. Don't look
You
at me with them big old
okay.
eyes.
Darcy, best girl. I love her to
Don't
pieces.
don't look at me with them small old eyes.
There's Moira.
Nice.
After putting on face cream. Man, this game is so good. I love it.
It's pretty good.
Eustace. I love her.
Me. She's just like me for real, for real.
The dog vision.
Yeah.
Man, that was crazy.
Water. Cat.
Hmm.
Who is that on the right? I think it's Flora, but that wouldn't make any
Um,
sense.
no, it might be Flora because I think Flora was the one who owned the cat, right? I don't know.
I guess?
Interesting. I don't remember this happening. Hmm.
I mean, presumably it's the scene with the ink, but I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
That wouldn't make any sense. You'd think
Hmm.
the roles would be reversed, and it would be Moira who's mad.
Oh, steady on. That never happened, did it? I'd say it was my mistake, but it wasn't really. I might have let it slip on purpose. She hates it when I fiddle with her hobbies. Can you believe that? It's a bit rude not to
No, I
share,
don't know who she is.
especially with dear, close friends. Even ruder to hide from friends, if you ask me. But we're due for a reunion, I think. All thanks to you. Don't look so nervous. You've helped me, and I'm a very generous woman. I can tell you like to read. At least, I hope you do, if you made it this far. How about a little more? I think you'll find this interesting. I found it lying around somewhere or other. I don't know if it's entirely accurate, but what is? Uh, you can be the ticket agent, I guess.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I would really appreciate it if we could avoid causing a scene.
I bought this ticket. This is bullshit.
Ma'am, please. I ain't stopping you from getting. I knew he was Southern. I don't know how I do it, but I knew it. I ain't stopping you from getting on the plane. I'm just warning you that you may need to remove your piercings to get through security.
Why? Are they gonna reflect off the rear view mirror? Are they gonna mess with the radar? Do they look explosive or something?
Sweetie, can you not say the X word so loud? You're making the other people in line nervous.
Sorry, which word? Explosive? A few other clerks next to the woman I was speaking to glanced over, eyebrows raised. I was getting a kick out of making those people squirm, I gotta admit. It was beyond bullshit, but I was being told over and to remove my piercings just to get through airport security.
Yes, stop saying it so loud. Or at all. Not to mention your jacket.
After typing hastily into her terminal for a few more seconds, the woman finally handed back my passport. My ticket sputtered out a loud machine. I snatched it before she had a chance to take it.
Have a pleasant flight. I do apologize if I caused any offense by commenting on your jewelry and stuff.
Something tells me you don't warn everyone about metal detector.
Just trying to be helpful, ma'am.
I rolled my eyes and stepped away. It was a good
So what do
thing
you
I
think of my
got.
Conchi impression?
That was your Conchi impression? Nice.
It wasn't at first, and then I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, it's close enough.
I think it needs to be a little bit deeper. It was a good thing I had gotten into the airport early. I was hungry as fuck. I heaved my backpack into my shoulders and set off towards the terminal. I figured I'd at least have time to grab a snack before I got on the plane. There was a decent amount of folks in the line to get through the detector. The line moved quick, so I got to the security guy. He sort of gave me a, oh, great look.
All metal objects in the bin with your bag, please.
I rolled my eyes and started dechroming myself. Studded bracelets off, nose ring off, earrings out, vest off, more studs.
Oh, one of those. Yeah, no, I'm with this guy. No, why the hell would you wear all that to the airport?
Man, shut up. The guard raised his eyebrow and opened his mouth to say something, but quickly stopped when he saw me lean over the rest one arm with an X-ray machine next to the metal detector and reach down to my leg. I probably should have opted for one of the wheelchairs outside the terminal to get around the airport, but fuck it. I had a lot of energy ahead of this trip. I wanted to travel light. I dunked my leg into the bin with the rest of my shit and hopped towards the guard. I'm gonna do a little spin thing through it. The guy stepped back a bit and let me put one arm through the metal detector, then jump through it and rest both arms against the conveyor belt that fed out my X-ray machine.
Lick.
A few people waiting in lines behind me clapped. I rolled my eyes. My
Mm-hmm.
bag of bits came across the belt. I took a second to put myself back together and to thank God that none of my other piercings had set off the machine. When I was putting my jacket back on, the guard commented on my back patch.
I don't know if I'd wear that to the airport.
Gonna do something about it? He laughed.
Easy, easy. You're at, like, here.
He held his hand up in the air.
And I'm, like, way down here. Where are you flying?
The UK?
Ooh, yeah, you're gonna need to come way down from up there. That's a long flight.
What's it to you? He was waving more people through as I put my studs and rings back on.
Nothing at all. I just don't like seeing people fly mad.
Not sure this is your jurisdiction, cop.
I'm a cop.
Do you think you're not a cop?
I've got a real boring beat for a cop.
You've got a badge and everything.
It's a private security gig, ma'am.
So you're like a mall cop.
Man, I wish. I get to walk more, I think.
Yeah, well, still a cop.
How many of those doodads and piercings do you have anyway?
More than you'll ever see.
Ma'am, I promise you, I am not bringing the hostility to this conversation that you are perceiving.
I'm sorry. It's just, you know.
Do I?
It was hard not to grin at this guy. Profession aside. Cop. Folks were passing by and talking and taking their bags off the guard waved them through.
What's your name?
Alex.
Is that real? Or is that just what you tell cops?
Nah, it's real. I don't tell cops anything.
See, that's good. We are opening a dialogue.
Not real cops.
Ouch.
No, see, that's good.
Damn, I feel like Jimmy Carter. We're building a real framework for peace here.
Man, fuck off with that.
Shoot. I've got you back up again after all that. Look, I don't know what any of that political shit means. I just hear the news in the break room sometimes.
It is what it is, I guess. Man, I finally finished getting my shit together and turned away from the conversation to head towards the terminal.
Have a good flight now, ma'am.
Uh-huh. Look, I don't have time right now, but if I ever see you again, I'm gonna recommend you some books to explain some stuff, alright? I winced as soon as those words spilled out. I sounded cooler in my head. How? I don't know. But I swear it did.
Okay, then. Looking forward to it.
Weirdo. Even with all the distractions, I'd end up with some time before my flight. I figured I'd grab a burger or something, go over my itinerary, etc., etc. The fast food place was pretty busy, but the line moved quick enough that I had soon had a nice bag of garbage to fuel me through an international flight. There wasn't any free tables, but there was an empty bar stool near the front of the place, at a long table where all the single travelers were eating. Or at least it would have been empty if it wasn't a handbag on it. You good if I sit here?
Is this me?
Yeah.
Of course.
My stool was in front of the corner next to the wall. My neighbor was a preppy-looking woman wearing a purple knitted turtleneck. She had a pair of those big hoop earrings, bright red lipstick, stick-on nails, bangs that covered her eyes. Not really my scene, but fuck it, I wasn't gonna eat standing up. She lifted the bag off the table and drummed her fingers against the seat. The red pleather was faded and cracked, and when I got up close, I could see that the bar stools and table were covered in rude graffiti. Thanks.
My pleasure, darling. Where are you headed?
Burger Town. She chuckled as I unwrapped my food.
Didn't know they had an airport there.
England.
Oh, now that's funny. Me as well.
Gate 17 at 3 o'clock.
It's the one.
Small world. You going home or?
Did me accent give it away?
No, it didn't. I just was like a guess. You don't have an accent, surprisingly. She definitely played it up a little for that response.
Good to know it's back to normal then. I could have passed for a real valley girl before I got to the terminal. I always pick up a bit of local flavor from wherever I'm visiting.
So you got your English voice back when you started thinking about home? That's cool.
Something like that. It's all a bit mental. I can say that here, of course. It's ruder in the UK.
Yeah?
You shouldn't say mental. And trucks are lorries. Oh, and do you smoke?
What gave it away?
Well, try not to get cross if anyone offers you.
Chill. I knew that one.
Well, that's good then.
She looked real pleased with herself. I never had much patience for people who like testing boundaries for fun, but I had nowhere else to go. Besides, who knows who else I would meet if I left. I was running into some real head cases today.
Visiting family then?
Yeah.
Whereabouts? If you don't mind my asking.
Up north a ways. I got a long ass bus ride once I get to Heathrow.
Isn't it funny how big a place like that can feel?
Sure. I could probably fit in Cali, right?
Oh, easily. Do you mind if I steal a chip?
Huh?
Oh, my mistake. Fry.
Oh, sure.
Thank you kindly.
The press on nails didn't help, but I felt a little freaked out watching her pluck exactly one fry from the box with her long fingers. I kind of looked like she had one of those nature shows where an eagle pulls the guts out of a fish or something. She ate it very carefully. I guess she had to. Her lipstick was pretty intense, and there wasn't a crumb or spot of grease on anything in her expensive looking outfit.
I do quite like those. Terrible for me, of course. What isn't, eh?
It's what I can afford. Flights ain't cheap, turns out.
Too right.
She sucked her fingers and thumb clean and dried them off on one of my napkins.
Well, safe travels.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. She smiled at me and slid off her bar stool with a clack. I realized she was wearing expensive heels. Too expensive for anyone I've ever seen eating shit fast food at LAX. I could hear every footstep across the tile floor as she left. I finished my burger and stuffed all the crap in my paper bag and threw away. As I got off the seat,
Random
I
question.
realized that,
Do you know what the X in LAX stands for? I learned this recently.
Is it cross? Like a crossing or
Nope.
something? Or an airport?
No.
I have no idea.
It means literally nothing. They just added an extra letter so that because you need 3 letters for the state in an airport. So they just added the X for literally no reason.
Could have just been LAA.
Yeah. I have no idea why.
Interesting.
There's apparently no reason.
Yeah, ATL, PHL. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
As I got off the seat, I realized that woman's handbag was still on the counter. Ah, fuck. I really didn't like the running errands, but if we were going to be in the same flight... I took the bag and got going to the gate. I must have spent way too long eating my shitty burger because when I finally got to the gate, they were already boarding. Technically, I think I was supposed to get on the plane first. Oh well. Guess I can't do that if I ain't there.
Just so you know, ma'am, you can only put one bag under the seat.
Yeah, got it. I almost said the handbag wasn't mine, but I realized that would probably not be the best thing to tell someone right before getting on a plane. Have you ever been on a plane? It was my first time. It feels weird on planes. As soon as you step in, it feels like the air is constantly being sucked away from you, which I guess it kind of is now that the air conditioning or whatever works. It's like you're yawning even when you're not yawning, or like you got earplugs in even though you don't. Feels like dog shit, that's for sure. I was looking around for the woman I'd met in the fast food place, but I couldn't see her anywhere. Everyone was standing in the aisles, putting their bags away, taking their jackets and sweaters off, etc., etc. It was going to be impossible to find her.
I'm assuming I'm just taking every voice at this
Yeah, pretty
point,
much, I
besides the.
guess. Yeah.
Fair enough. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you're gonna need to make some room. You need help finding your seat?
I have no idea what role these characters play in the story. This is the only scene I've seen them in. This is the last scene that I watched before stopping the game. So I have no idea what role these characters play, so I'm just letting you voice all of them, and I'll just voice Alex like I'm doing
Well,
with
I assume
Hedwig.
it's a. Yeah, I assume it's a teaser for another game.
I don't know. This is the epilogue I was talking about. I think this is
Yeah, I
the.
guess it that much.
I don't think it's a teaser. I think this
But
is.
all of that talk from the mysterious, probably a ghost lady, was like talking about how this was another story or something, like something that wasn't supposed to be left lying around here, but you can take a look at it.
I thought it
That's
was
like
like some future
premium.
thing. As far as I know, the creator is still working on Misericorde and now 35 Electric. Those are the only two games that they are working on right now, to my knowledge. I'm assuming we get
I
like a
wasn't sure if
part
this
two.
was some kind of view into 35 Electric. I didn't remember what it was called, but I knew there was a second game that was set in the future.
35 Electric is set in the 50s. I believe this is the set in the 90s. This tape that we're watching. It was
Okay. Well,
definitely before 9/11, I think. Was it before 9/11? Maybe it's present day. I can't remember because we did have to go through TSA.
I was gonna
Hmm.
say they didn't really do the whole metal detector thing beforehand.
Yeah, that was because of 9/11, so it's definitely after 9/11. And yeah, 35 Electric
Definitely
takes
can't be
place in the
too modern
50s.
day. It can't be too modern day. No one would want to go to England right now.
I think the game released in like 2023. So maybe
Yeah,
it's
I rest
that
my case,
modern
Your
day.
Honor.
Huh? Oh no, sorry about that. Well, shit. I wasn't far from my seat, but I was real nervous about keeping this lady's bag with me. What if I got all the way to foreign country with someone else's shit? What if she'd been wrong about the flight she was on? Would that be like an international crime? The last thing I need is an Interpol coming at my ass over some rich lady's handbag. I sat down in my window seat and tried to stay calm. I figured I can at least wait until we were in the air, but I could walk to the but I could walk to make sure she wasn't on the flight before panicking too hard.
Now here's a coincidence.
Oh, thank God. Hey, you left your bag on the table earlier. She put her hands over her chest and opened her mouth like a fish.
Oh my god, thank you. I would have been proper devote if I'd left it behind.
She sat down next to me and I handed her the bag. She started reaching around inside it, I guess to check if anything had gotten lost.
Phew, all here.
Then she pulled out a flat wad of bills with a money clip.
Let's see.
Oh no, you don't gotta. She licked her thumb, peeled off a small stack of bills, and handed them to me.
Don't be silly.
This is $250.
Pounds, love. But yeah, a little pocket money for your trip, yeah?
I. Well, thanks.
At all. Thanks for bringing me back. Oh god, the accent really is coming back. I knew you were alright when I first saw you.
Weird.
What a coincidence we're in the same row, eh?
I guess so. I wanted some. I wanted something in the smoking section.
Ooh, aye, me as well. I take it you don't mind then?
Nah, go for it. She reached back into her bag and pulled out a most ridiculous pack of cigs I'd ever seen. A whole box of gold. Her lighter was almost a perfect match. The hell are those?
Do you not get these here?
Well, I've never seen them. I've never seen them. She held a box of me and shook it excitedly. One cig stuck out. I don't know how long she practiced that, but it was impressive.
Have you seen any of the adverts for these?
Uh, no.
They're very chic. Go on then, try it. I'm curious to know what you think. What's your use?
I usually smoke whatever low tars I can get my hands on.
Gotcha. Not a big brand follower.
Nah.
Weird. Me either, typically. Some people like to pit them against each other, but I'll try anything as long as I like the look.
Must be nice. She held her ridiculous lighter out to me. The cig she'd given me. I don't know if I'd call it good, but it sure tasted more expensive than usual.
Like watches. Do you know anything about watches?
I know that they're for telling the time. I held up my wrist to show her my cheap digital watch. She exhaled smoke but didn't respond.
Sort of. I mean, they are, but they aren't. You know what I mean? They're jewelry, really. You should get a nicer one.
They're way too expensive. My dad has one from Spy Movie that he liked as a kid. I asked how much it cost one time and he was so mad when he told me. And I was so mad when he told me.
Oh, does he now? That'll be nice. That'll be a proper automatic.
Digitals are much cheaper.
I'm a bit biased, I suppose.
She held up her arm and pulled her sweater sleeve down to reveal her own watch. It was a bright gold, although the dial was a shocking pink that would have been associated with a luxury brand named Inland and Gold. Holy shit! How much was that?
I don't know, actually. Got this one instead of cash for some work I did a while back.
Okay, I gotta ask. What do you do?
Suppose I'd call myself a flaneur, if anything. A passant, if we're being grammatically correct.
So you're professionally French. I think that's a crime. She laughed. She leaned back on her seat and flicked up to a little ashtray and an armrest so she could ash her cigarette.
Technically, I'm in publishing. A bit of a location scout, I think, is the best way to describe it. I take special assignments. I travel a lot. I enjoy people watching.
I had no idea publishers could afford that kind of lifestyle.
There's loads of people out there buying books to not read, love.
I laughed. Fair enough.
So, what have you actually read? I'd be curious to know if you'd seen any of mine.
I've skimmed Capital.
Haven't we all?
I like Chomsky.
Any fiction?
I don't have time for fiction.
Ooh, that sting.
If I'm reading something, I want it to matter. I can do other stuff for fun, I guess. She nodded thoughtfully. The captain came over to the loudspeaker and announced something. It was impossible to tell exactly what, thanks to the shitty mic. Plus, books are expensive. I gotta pick stuff that counts. I feel like I know how every story is gonna end the second I read the first sentence. She pointed at me with her cigarette approvingly.
We are not so different then. I just come down on the other end, I suppose. But I get it. Who needs a book to tell you what you already know? That's why I prefer fiction myself. Maybe you just need to read different kinds of fiction. I never know what I'm gonna get.
So, what kind of books do you publish, anyway?
I'm not the publisher. I'm just in publishing.
So, you're the heiress of a publishing company, or something. She gave me a wicked grin.
Like I said, I'd call myself a flaneur. A passant, if we're being grammatically correct.
It was around this point that the plane's engine started up. We put our cigarettes out and adjusted our seats to get ready for takeoff.
You ever been on a plane before?
First time.
Don't let the bumpiness get to you.
500 years hence. I got an achievement called that. And that's the end of Misericorde Volume 1.
Yeah,
That's.
I'm pretty sure that was like a sneak peek into some other project or something.
I'm not entirely sure. I think the achievement 500 years hence is alluding that it was uh, a bit of like a time playing with time, I guess. Maybe a detective
But
of
we
some
don't have an
sort.
Alex.
We do not. I don't think it's time travel because I don't. But I'm thinking like maybe ancestor or like a detective, since trying to figure it out on her own. I don't think it's time travel. I think this is pretty based in reality. I think it's like a person who is really into history, trying to figure out the mysteries of the thing from the future, and just trying to piece it together her way, I guess.
Range.
Alex did sound a lot like
I've got a
Flora,
feeling that
though.
it's not. I was gonna say I don't think it's intended to be solvable.
Alex did remind me a lot
I
of
mean,
Flora, though.
eh,
Mostly because of.
not even Flora cussed that much.
Yeah,
And
but there was a missing leg as well.
that's fair.
Something's wrong with Flora's leg at the very end of Volume 1. And there's something wrong with this woman's leg. And Flora just kind of strikes me as a person who would wear piercings and talk like that if they were like around that time. If she was not in a nun, I can totally see her being the kind of person to indulge in those kinds of stuff. I don't know.
I don't think we can.
Hmm.
I mean, clearly it's the sequel to Celeste because Theo's
Obviously.
sister's name is Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Theo's
Definitely.
sister's name is Alex.
Hmm. I'm trying to figure out
I can't think of any other Alex.
if that was Flora, who would the weird lady be? Maybe Catherine with a K? Or it could be
Well,
Catherine with a C. Because we don't
I
know
mean,
her
if
that well.
anyone's going to be a weird lady, it's going to be Darcy.
It didn't seem like Darcy though.
I agree,
Hmm.
but it didn't seem like anyone.
Yeah, I'm having a bit more time aligning that character to someone, but the other one, the person I voiced, definitely reminded me of Flora. I don't know.
Yeah. If I had to use a bit of literary analysis,
Hmm.
if this is actually related to Misericorde in any way, shape, or form,
Hmm.
then wouldn't it be closely related to Hedwig, since they're both protagonists?
Mm, not necessarily. I don't think. Could be, but yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to think on that. That's a scene I've
Yeah.
only watched once. I've seen other parts of Volume One a couple times, but that I've specifically never went back to rewatch that scene because I was trying to not look into it as much and wait to read it again with you to see what your thoughts were because I do think it has something to do with Misericorde, but I don't know what it could possibly be. It just left me confused and I had no idea what to take from it.
Hmm.
I don't know. Any thoughts, feelings, emotions?
Any thoughts, feelings, emotions I had were kind of thrown out after the end.
All right.
It's kind of like, so the picture portrays some kind of weird dust bunny monster, but they mention the clanking of boots. Someone who could cut off two people who are running in a straight line by somehow going around them.
No, I think it like
Because they both
went.
ran at a straight.
I think it was. I think she was planning on going down this hallway to go back to the dormitory, and this is the door down here. Is my math showing up on screen?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so I think they were running this way, and the dorms were this way. Hedwig wanted to go this way, but I guess there was another hallway down that way that he could cut them off at if needed to be, and it would be like a dead end of just being cornered. And this was like the only way away from the monster. That was my understanding.
Yeah. I'll rewatch it afterwards, but I was pretty sure that the
I
conversation went like
No, because the
she
end.
ran past the hallway that would have led to the dorms. I
Yes,
stopped to tell Flora, or I stopped and said, "Where are you going?" Turned to look down that hallway towards the dorms and saw that creature approaching.
I don't think she saw the creature approaching, but I think she saw a reason why Flora ignored that way, and I think the reason was that it was just kind of a dead end because it did only lead to a fireplace. I think it just led to the mantle in
A
the
dead
dorm
end towards,
rooms.
but it was the way towards the dorms. How could the way towards the dorms be a dead end?
I don't think the dorms have a the dorms. Uh, I don't think the dorms lead anywhere. I think it's just a hallway for dorms, and that's it. I don't think they connect to anything. I think it connects to that hallway, like an L shape, I guess. It's just like an L shape, and it only has dorm rooms in it, and the Misericorde, because I think the Misericorde's in that hallway too. So they would be kind of trapped if they went that way, and it would lead to a dead end, and they would be, and it would kind of corner them a bit. That was my understanding. I'll reread it and try to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. But that was my
Yeah,
understanding.
we'll see.
I love Dars. She's
I don't
adorable.
know. It's really hard to say who the sick and evil and twisted one could be.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's the. Who are your biggest suspects right now? Mine is still Moira. Moira is just
Mhm.
so suspicious to me. I don't know why. I'm just so suspicious of her. I can say with confidence, I do not think it is Eustace. I do not think it is Flora, obviously, and I do not think it is Angela. Those are the three that I'm sure it is definitely not. I have a gut feeling that it is not uh, Margaret. I don't know why, but I just trust her a lot. And Catherine with a K has an alibi, but we do not know if that alibi is trustworthy because she is vouching for James, and those are the only two who can vouch for each other. So they could both be lying, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we've kind of got a whole lot of nothing
Yeah.
for the most part.
Darcy,
To be
I do not
completely
want to
honest,
suspect her.
of
Mm-hmm.
course, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Darcy having like a vision or something, and then something happens, or at least that's something they try to pull at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's. I'm trying to think of who would have access to weapons.
Adela,
I mainly go towards Adela.
yeah.
I feel like
Adela,
she's crazy
maybe,
enough.
maybe
I think
Marta.
I was gonna say Marta, but she doesn't strike me as the type.
She strikes me
And
as like a
also, I
war
don't think,
veteran. So
I don't think she could overcome Catherine. Is the issue?
I think she had, yeah, Catherine was pretty experienced. So they would at least be equal, and then she would lose because of her age disadvantage. If she was like a war veteran, Marta would probably still lose because if they were on equal footing, it would be her age that would be her downfall. Hmm.
Yeah. As someone who's literally in law school right now, I'm just so extremely upset that we don't have any kind of autopsy or anything for the body. Like,
It's
what are these other
1482.
wounds? You don't need it. Doesn't matter. You
Yeah,
can tell
Moira.
someone got shot with an arrow in the stomach and killed, and then
I
her head was chopped off later.
I
Is
think
the
they said they were
other wounds she
bruises.
suffered mortal?
I just assumed they were bruises.
I'm not assuming anything until I get a
Oh,
confirmation.
fair enough.
Other wounds is
Moira's not good at her
like, were
job.
there bruises on her? Were there bruises on her neck? Was she choked? If she was choked, then presumably it had to be Eustace because she's the only one with access to the sword.
Hmm.
Or is that just since the murder?
Could be like Byakuya just coming into the crime scene and chopping her head off later. Finding her dead body and then chopping
Oh
it
yeah,
off.
no. That's my current theory on Yumineko, the third
Hmm.
game, specifically
Interesting.
with the most recent murder.
Oh,
No
interesting.
spoilers for anyone watching, but there's one murder in particular
Man, that's
where I'm
such a
like,
good
okay,
game.
it's good.
So I think my
I'm
current theory is Moira or Adela. I don't think it's
yeah.
Adela though. I don't know why. I just don't think it's her. Moira is just still my biggest suspect right now.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I'm not a fan of episode 3 of Yumineko. Not right now.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me. We'll start volume 2 sometime when we feel like it. I don't know if we're going to be playing a game in between it. I don't know if we're just going to jump right into volume 2. I don't know when we're going to start volume 2. It might be tomorrow, it might be next month. Who knows? We are just kind of going off and uh playing it by ear as the days go by. So, we'll see you whenever, I
Yeah.
guess.